This fall, the State Department designated Rutland as a refugee resettlement community. This gave the green light to place 100 Syrian and Iraqi refugees displaced by war here. Since Mayor Chris Loris made the announcement last spring about the plan, people for and against the proposal have voiced their opinions. No matter what side of this you fall on, one thing is crystal clear. Rutland is a caring, welcoming, and accepting community. If you talk with folks who've moved here, you hear the same thing over and over again. The magic or the it factor Rutland has. That's rare. Rutland welcomes a group of committed and enthusiastic volunteers, began planning for our new neighbors' arrival as soon as the announcement was made. Today we're checking in to see the progress as Rutland prepares to welcome its first family this year. Rutland Welcomes began thanks to local people wanting to help those displaced by war have a second chance. Carol Tashi, co-owner of Radical Roots Farm, is one of the volunteers.
There's an incredible outpouring of support and love and caring that's coming from not only within our community, but all over the state and all over the region. I got an email today from a woman who is mailing me hand-knit hats for our new neighbors, and she lives in Virginia. So Rutland Welcomes has really always taken the position that this is a loving, welcoming, caring community. Rutland always has been. I moved here a dozen years ago, and I was welcomed in right away, and I was just an outsider, crazy, newcomer from New Hampshire. And so that's Rutland's long-standing history, and Rutland Welcomes just represents that heart of Rutland. Like, we're not anything special. We're just the regular people who say, how can we make our community whole, and how can we make our community really a place that everybody wants to be? And we're very excited about welcoming 100 new neighbors into our community.
The video here is of the Welcome Wagon kits volunteers are putting together, but this is just a snapshot of the work underway. At the UU Church, fluent Arabic language speakers are offering free classes to anyone wanting to learn.
We have some fluent Arabic speakers in our community, but we will also have lots of people who will be able to say, hello, and what's your name, and welcome, and we're glad you're here. So there's Arabic classes that are going on.
In addition to Arabic lessons, a group of volunteers have worked to gather employment information from businesses in need of workers. They'll now hand that information off to the Vermont Refugee Resettlement Program to start the process of getting our new neighbors connected with employers.
A very prominent business owner who has multiple businesses in our community came up to me all enthusiastic and said, Carol, how can I make sure that you all know that I have lots of jobs available? I have entry-level jobs, and I have jobs all the way on up to, really professional skill jobs. And so please make sure I'm on the list. So we've been helping to facilitate that.
Behind the Rutland Co-op, Carol Tashi, with the help of others, is putting together kits for incoming families.
Here we are in the old Strand Theater behind the food co-op. Thank you, Mark Foley, for allowing us to use this space. And this is only one of 4 or 5 storage locations for donations that we've been gathering. So we have storage of furniture in the Rutland Herald warehouse. We have storage of household goods, plates and dishes and cookware and things like that in some of the local churches. And then what we have here is what we're calling welcome baskets.
The kits here are full of basic necessities, the things most of us take for granted.
Put together a little handy-dandy checklist, and each one of these little areas is designed to have pretty much everything a family needs to set up their apartment, in addition to the furniture and the household goods. And so in this little thing here, there's everything from toilet paper and paper towels and tissues to light bulbs, to dish racks, to mops and brooms, to every kind of personal hygiene, soap and shampoo and hair clips for the girls and combs and brushes and razors, and there's calendars that were donated. Everything here has been donated by people mostly within our community, but also outside of our community, and we've been able to amass enough for 25 families who will come in the first year to have everything that they need to set up their apartments.
The final piece of welcoming our new neighbors is welcome baskets that will be stuffed with gift cards and Vermont goods.
this is all the necessities of life. And, you know, my goodness, you need to make sure you have toilet paper. You need to make sure you have a garbage can and a toolbox and a sewing kit. And those are, you know, such essentials. But there's a lot more to life than just that. So we're also collecting what I'm calling the beauties or the niceties or the creative spirit of Vermont. So we've got baskets that we're creating that will have maple syrup. They'll have homemade granola, homemade honey, you know, hats. Your mom created some knitted some hats. They will have homemade pottery. Somebody from Burlington, a potter in Burlington, drove all the way down from Burlington, and he came with a dozen boxes of this absolute gorgeous pottery because every house needs some beautiful mug to drink their tea or coffee in the morning. And that basket will also have gift cards. And so it'll have gift cards from Price Chopper, the Co-op, Discount Food, Hannaford's, but it will also have gift cards from the farmers market. So people are donating hundreds of dollars worth of Vermont Farmers Market gift certificates. So neighbors can go to farmers market and buy their meat and their bread and their vegetables. We're also collecting from all of the local farmers. You know, I think you know I'm Radical Roots Farm. Dennis and I are Radical Roots Farm. And so we are donating, and many of the other farmers are donating large amounts of gift certificates to our farms. So neighbors will be presented, you know, knock, 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 welcome baskets here. You know, here's a beautiful hat. Here's some maple syrup. Oh, and here are gift certificates to 5 local farms. So on a Saturday, you can come to farmers market, which is truly the heart of our community on a weekend, and you can get the best that Vermont has to offer.
You can donate to the welcome baskets at rutlandwelcomes.org. And while we still don't have an official date of when we will first welcome our new neighbors, one thing is for sure. Rutland is ready, and there are people here willing to help in any way possible.
I'm just overwhelmed with pride. I mean, this is a community that, you know, I've lived a lot of different places in the country, and I've traveled a lot of different places around the world. And I've never felt what I felt in Rutland. You know, from day one moving into Rutland, I have never felt a community that embraces. You know, if you're willing to become a part of the community, if you're willing to help with the blood drive or volunteer on the local boards of directors or help with the food co-op or join a church or whatever it is that you might want to do, you are welcomed and you are appreciated. And so I felt that personally. And when I see this and I see that our neighbors are doing this for newcomers, it reinforces to me what I've always felt about Rutland. You know, this is nothing new. This is not just because people from Syria and Iraq are moving into our community. This is because this is what Rutland does.